Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master chaos here. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm doing great. Today is episode 1 of what I hope will be a long-running live review series, and I'm excited to bring you my guests. But before I do that, I want to thank you for being here. Remember to drop a thumbs up. That really helps the channel, helps the video, helps gives you good karma, all that good stuff. So go ahead and do that. If you're new here, do subscribe so we can hang out again. Today we're talking two very interesting, very different movies. We're talking Gore in Venice and Midnight, the Korean movie from 2021. One is really great. One is shit. That's the best way I can put it. Let me introduce my guests right after this.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Alrighty, without further ado, let me bring them in. First, let me bring in the first person to answer the call. This is the first person who reached out and said, hell yeah, I'm in. And that is the one, the only, Nathaniel Thompson. Make sure your mic is, there you go, there he is. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm honored to have you here, and I'm glad that you were up for this. And you are a font of knowledge, so I'm happy to be able to tap that knowledge.
I might have lost a few brain cells after watching these two movies back to back. Just warning you, but I'll do my best.
Okay, good to know. I will keep that in mind. Second person to answer the call of duty. You know her, you love her, the wonderful Tina Krause.
Hi guys, how are you? How are you doing, man?
We're doing great. Tina, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure, and I love your work. I think we got a chance to talk a while back, so we've stayed in touch. And when I mentioned this, you're like, "Yeah, I'm in. That sounds amazing." So thank you for that.
Yeah, totally. I'm all about it.
Okay, great. Well, we'll be talking eggs in a little bit, but I'm sure you have a lot to say.
So many questions.
So many questions. And let me bring in my other amazing genre expert. You know him, you love him. He's a Bava freak, self-styled. Don't do trivia with this guy when you're talking Mario Bava. Mr. Troy Howarth. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for having me, and thank you for also not offering hard-boiled eggs.
Yes. No. I was gonna mail everybody eggs so we can all eat them on camera, but I didn't have time for that.
So many questions. So many.
Okay. Lastly, another main member of the panel. You know him, you love him. He's been on here before. He is the main man of horror, Mr. Nightwatch Zone. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Great to be here.
I'm honored to have you here, dude. I know you're like you are nonstop live streaming everywhere, so I appreciate. I know I caught you a little bit on Cravens yesterday. You guys were going deep into the night on that one.
Yes.
I'm excited to have you here talking stuff that isn't modern horror, but
yes, me too.
Real briefly, what do you think? What are your feelings now about Halloween Kills? I'm sorry. Halloween Ends. Again, I'm confused because they're all kind of the same thing.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I'm curious. I think that's the biggest word I want to use is curious.
Yeah, once you would have said excited, but now.
Well, I'm still excited, but curiosity is definitely raising up on the levels for me. So,
but are you really excited?
Of course, it's Halloween season, and I'm gonna get to go to the theater and watch a movie. So that's gotta be worth it.
I still watch the original.
Oh yeah, the original is the best.
Yeah.
Still undefeated.
It'll never go away. Absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta say it is undefeated.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Lastly, on here, we're going to have a revolving guest, special guest pop in here. Either if somebody who's hosting can bring somebody in or whatever. I had to replace this chair revolved a lot. It was sort of a hot potato situation. Luckily, my buddy, my pal, again, someone you know and you love, Mr. Tony the Dead came in last minute. How you doing, Tony?
Good. Thank you for asking me. To be honest,
He's like, thanks.
you were on the list. I wanted to bring in a whole bunch of different people. I had 2 people drop out, and then I said, okay, who's next on the list? That person dropped out. And then, okay, well, who's next on this? Okay, Tony. And then literally 3 hours before showtime, we're like, dude, can you just watch these real quick? And
yeah. I'm like, I got permission, and I said I'll be on.
Fantastic. Yeah, you had asked the little lady if it was okay. You know what? Let me change the background here because it has to be a little more fitting to what we're talking about. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Good. We're in the middle of a blood splatter.
There you go. Perfect.
Perfect.
Let me check in with the chat here. I've got Tracker Chaos. What's up, buddy? I can't wait for the show tonight and onwards. Good luck. Thank you, Tracker. We'll have you on soon, bud. Bumpy Jonas says, fantastic panel. Just got Howarth's Unholy Communion book for the season.
Yay!
I'm guessing the Halloween season? I love it. That's great. Mel in the house. What's up, Mel? Master of all that is chaos and wonderful panel. How's everyone doing? We're doing good, Mel. Thank you for coming in here. Before we jump into the movies, I think it behooves us, for those of you who don't know the panel and you know, their druthers and all that stuff, let's dig into their background a little bit. Let me start with Nathaniel. Nathaniel, now's when you get to get on the stage and tell people why you're here and what you do for a living and why you're amazing.
I don't know if I'm amazing, but I am here because I love horror movies from all over the globe, so this is right up my alley. I've been a horror junkie since I was a kid. I run a site called Mondo Digital. It's mondo-digital.com. It's coming up on 25 years next year. Hard to believe. I've also done a crap load of audio commentaries. I don't remember how many, but it's coming up on 200, I think. So you probably see my name on a DVD sleeper too. I think Troy might have me almost tied. I'm not sure. We're not keeping count here, but I've done several Troy as well. I just had a new book come out called The Fright Fest Guide to Vampire Movies, and I'm currently on a series running on Shudder that is 11 episodes coming up. It'll be one of the greatest, scariest moments in movie history. So that's it for me, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. When you were posting about the Shudder stuff, I'm like, that's crazy. That's so cool, man. I love it. I love it. Okay, Tina, by the way, sorry, I had to mute your mic because I think we're getting echo from your end, but now it's your turn to talk. So go ahead. Tina, tell us who you are and why you're amazing.
Oh, why am I amazing? I don't know. I don't know if I would say that, but hey, tell you what I do. Okay, so I'm an actress for I guess maybe, if I'm counting correct. No, I'm not telling you how many years. Screw that. You don't need to know my age. A long time, all right? That's it. Hey, you put that in your repertoire and figure it out. All right? And two, I'm a director. I directed the film called Limbo, and I'm working on another film and 2 more after that. And I'll be writing another film that's coming out. Hopefully I'll be able to shoot it in June, but not 100% sure. It would be out in Mississippi, and it would be based on a true incident that happened in 1935. So
amazing.
There you go. Oh yeah, and I have a TV show coming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's called Urban X. I do urban exploring, so I'm gonna be getting that show out pretty soon.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where can we see that?
We're gonna get our own channel right now. Some stuff is in negotiation right now, so I don't know that I want to tell you exactly everything just yet. But look for our Facebook page probably coming up in a month. Okay, and then from there, once it's released, we'll give everybody all the information where you can see it. It's basically gonna be, I explore abandoned insane asylums and amusement parks, mansions, all kinds of places. But I give you the history of it. It's more like a history channel.
Okay.
So, yeah, now and then and what happened and all of the urban tales that go with it. So there you go.
That's amazing. I would prefer if you get chased by hobos. I think that'd be more exciting.
It could happen. Or wild animal.
Sure, yeah. Or a hobo riding a wild animal,
Oh my God, even better. I write a new movie after that.
There you go. Exactly. My Killer Podcast says, Tina, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Video Store Review says Mondo Digital is a fantastic site and incredible resource. Bookmark that site if you haven't already. And thank you for your work, Nathaniel. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, Troy, tell us all about your work and why you are a Baba freak.
Well, that's a difficult question. Unlike Nathaniel and Tina, I don't go on camera for obvious reasons. I'm far too pasty. But I am a Baba freak since I'm a little kid. Seeing one of Mario Bava's films on late night TV made me a fan for life. I've written about 15 books at this point, most of them on Italian genre films, but also some Spanish and American too, John Carpenter, stuff like that. Audio commentaries, out the wazoo, about 150 at last count, and a number of them with Nathaniel. So where Nathaniel goes, I'm usually not too far behind.
That's amazing. Holy crap. Are you actually keeping track? Is it 150 or potentially be more?
It's probably more than that, but why bore you with numbers?
That's amazing. Honored to have you here. Nightwatch Zone. People know you, man, but tell us a little bit about your channel just in case.
My YouTube channel is the Nightwatch Zone, and primarily we delve into horror, a huge range. I absolutely love old school classics. I love foreign horror, also modern. And we also talk about other types of movies too, different genres, whether it's action or sci-fi or thriller, what have you. And I've been pretty lucky to have, a really good group with me. My brother Killian and Coriander, my co-hosts, usually with me. But I've also been able to do a lot of collaborations, like you were saying earlier, Chaos, you being one of the folks that I get a chance to collab with every once in a while. So it's really, really funny, just being able to meet folks and talk about movies. And it's, to be quite honest, I never thought I'd be able to do it like this on this platform, but it's been fun doing it, man.
That's amazing, man. And you've been blowing up, dude. You just across 4K. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, climbing, man. You know how it is. You got to scratch and claw, and you got to fight the YouTube algorithm.
Absolutely, man. And hey, I just had to restart my channel because of the whole YouTube monetization bullshit. But look, things are looking good. So fingers crossed, onward and forward for that.
Absolutely.
Tony, you are our special guest seat, but tell us about Mr. Tony the Dead, the channel.
Well, it's kind of dead at the moment, but I'm gonna revamp it and start doing more reviews. I do kind of mostly right now just unboxings and stuff. I just recorded one tonight. Starting my Patreon up and everything, but it's just mainly horror. But I kind of throughout the years have been dabbling in a little bit of everything, even toy reviews, like action figures and stuff like that, which was fun, but it just didn't really bring anybody in. But it's like it's not just, like I said, it's not just horror. It's kind of whatever I want to do, and I'm mainly over here, that. Like I said, my second home. But I like going live once in a while with my wife and that, and we just have fun, and it's just kind of like a chill chat and just talk movies.
Absolutely, that's what we love to do. As for me, I've got this sticker. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. For some reason, my buddy Tony the Dead sent me this sticker. I don't know if you can tell what that is. But that is a Bigfoot hand holding a severed wiener. Yep.
I did send that.
I don't know where the hell I'm going to put that with the kids in the house. But
I have one too. It's just in a drawer right now.
In a drawer. That's the best place for it. I have some good news. I was kind of saving for the end, but I'll say it now because I'm very excited. I just got an email. My new movie, The Headless Horseman, is getting theatrical. Holy shit. I'm getting a theatrical release. Yes, thank you. It literally one of those things that's like, how the hell is that going to happen? But it did. It's limited, but it's going to be in 5, and we'll talk about it in another stream. But 5 theaters across the U.S., Florida, Cleveland, Los Angeles, and I'm blanking on the other ones, but I'll do a stream talking about that. But I'm excited. That's some good news to start the stream, so I'm hyped on that. Okay, without further ado, we got some movies to talk about, so let's do that. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate that. Mel, we might have you on next time, depending on who the winner is of the for next season. All right, here we go. We're gonna start with Midnight, and I don't know why there's a Paw Patrol commercial on it, but that's fine. we're gonna go with
I don't remember that in the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope you guys all saw the Paw
It adds
Patrol
to the
version.
charm.
Yeah. Okay. So real briefly, I'm just gonna give you the real brief thing, and then we'll go into roundtable reviews. A serial killer ruthlessly hunts down a deaf woman to the streets of South Korea after she witnesses his brutal crime. Now, I'm going to butcher this, and I apologize, but get used to it when we talk about foreign names. It's going to happen. Maybe Nathaniel and Troy have a better pronunciation, but I'm going to say it was Seon Kwon. Anyway,
Sure.
That guy, yeah, that's the director and the writer, and it's definitely a very unique little film. It has nothing to do with Paw Patrol. But let's get into it. We'll start. We'll go this way, not this way. Nathaniel, why don't you kick us off with your thoughts on the movie?
Okay. I had never seen this before. I'd been putting it off. I'd heard some good things about it, so I was glad it got recommended and kind of kicked me in the butt to finally watch it. I thought it was very entertaining. It definitely had me gripped all the way through. Moved really fast. I thought, are we spoiling endings on this? Because I've seen a lot of folks haven't seen this.
I think what we should do is let's our first go around is just your first impressions, no spoilers, and then our second go around when we give our ratings, you can do a little spoiler reaction, and then I'll just mark it later on.
I'll say my favorite thing was the way that it resolved, because normally when you have serial killer movies where they're chasing somebody, it ends a certain way, and this one found a cool way of kind of reversing that. Like, that really pulled it right out from under me. I thought that was a cool touch. Just really smart the way they handled it. I didn't see it coming. That's all I'm going to say. Very resourceful. Maybe my perspective is a little different because one of my best friends actually is deaf. He's a teacher of the deaf, and I actually know a lot of other deaf people. So the only thing that bothered me was it was a little convenient how the deaf characters just suddenly couldn't scream or make a noise when it was, like in the police station. She sort of goes like this. It's like, just scream and point. Like, come on, like, do something. There were a few like stupid moments like that where it was like, I would have probably written it differently. But again, it's a slasher movie. You kind of go with it. As compared to, like, I know we did last summer, it's like Work of Genius. So at least it's in that level of craziness. But yeah, thumbs up. I thought it was really stylish. I dug the music score a lot. It's very like John Carpenter in spots. That like fast-paced chase scene I thought was really great. The music in that was just fantastic. But yeah, I would say thumbs up from me.
Okay, great. Tina, tell us your initial reaction to Midnight.
I actually loved it. I really, 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 well, I like a lot of foreign movies, but I definitely loved a lot of the scenes that were in it, and I especially loved. Okay, so I'm going to say something silly. I did like the parts where it went quiet. Okay, where she was like, it was her doing whatever, and you don't hear anything because it gave you for a minute. I thought something was wrong with Tubi. I was like, wait, what? I was hitting my computer. I'm like, the hell's going on here? But then I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I get what's going on. Now, I see, and it changes the movie a little bit. Okay, it actually changes. It changed the way I saw it. It also changed a lot for me how I saw the killer. Seeing it with all of your senses is a little bit different than not having those senses, especially the sound. Because every mistake that she made was because it wasn't because she was stupid. It's because she didn't know that sound travels. She's deaf. How could she know that? So, or she would have never got caught that first time in the parking lot. There's no way. She would have got away with that. Except she kept jiggling that thing, not realizing it's echoing. He's going to find her. And that dude is, well, I'm not going to say what I want. But what I was going to reference him to because that would be a spoiler. So I'm just going to shut up about that. But I am going to say something else too in the end, where it started to come down to the end, it got real tense. They did something really cool with sound. Okay, they did something what I call a heartbeat. So even though it's still not music that you and I would recognize, but it's still a beat, it kind of started to sound like the person getting like hyperventilating when you started to listen to it, and then they started doing the camera work. By the way, the cinematography, I appreciate it a lot. So before I go on to the next person.
No, I mean that's the whole point. We want to get your take, and specifically yourself as a scream queen who's been in situations like this movie. You're running, you're screaming, and as a filmmaker as well. You know, having to work with actors. I want to get your perspective as to the performances too, because I think the movie has really brilliant performances, really understated, very genuine stuff.
Okay, so I don't speak a lick of whatever the language was.
Korean, yeah.
No, I don't. Nothing. Okay, nothing. And well, I've got family from there, so I should, but I don't. So there you go. Whatever. Nothing do I understand, but I understood everything, right down to some of the comedy that was in that. Because there was some comedic moments, and if you looked at the person's expressions and the things that they did, you would get it, even though you didn't understand the language.
Right.
So, as far as I'm concerned, the performances were brilliant, especially the killer. He was excellent. And the two deaf people too. Yes, that dude. And them.
Yeah.
They were brilliant. The mom was great. There's a scene with her when she's in the cop station where it's like, oh, you really get that she's the mom and she is concerned and she's catching on very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Where nobody else is, where the daughter isn't. That's a tense moment. Because it could go either way. Like, she could have saved herself from some shit.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't, though.
We wouldn't have a movie now.
Yeah, no, I think that's very important when you're talking about a foreign movie. It's either it's different to us in culture, or just the language, or the way that people look, the way people react to things. You know, it's I love that a director can say, look at them and in your eyes tell me how you feel, so that it's a universal feeling. It's not I understand what they're saying.
Right.
It's that look, that feeling, and that's so the director I think just nailed it in terms of capturing that essence of making the situation real.
There's no subtitles.
Wait, you didn't watch it with subtitles?
Nate, no.
No?
Ooh, wow.
Nope.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Are there no are there no subtitles on Tubi? I thought there were.
Yeah, there are.
No,
Yeah.
She said she understood everything.
I didn't watch it with subtitles.
On purpose, or you just didn't know that?
On purpose.
Wow. Okay.
That's interesting.
See, now that's very interesting. Yeah, because then you would it's a purely almost silent movie at that point, completely silent movie.
Pretty much. But I can hear inflections in talking, and I can see how people remember. I'm a director.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much will watch somebody's facial expressions and how they're reacting and the way things are going on in the scene. And I pay attention to backgrounds and little things that you may not catch or whatever. I catch all of that because I incorporate it in the things that I do, especially when I'm making movies, especially the one that's coming up. So, that was no subtitles at all, but I understood everything that was going on. I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell you.
Amazing. That's great. That is amazing. That's very interesting. All right, moving on, but real quick, I'm going to say hello to OGP. What's up, buddy? He was going to be on the panel today, but he had a previous engagement he forgot about, but I'm glad that you're doing well. Hopefully you're enjoying the evening. All right, on to the illustrious Mr. Howarth, who has a comment here from Coding, a longtime subscriber. He says, hello, Troy. Sir, I own most of your books and have listened to a lot of your audio commentary. So you got a fan in Cody there.
Well, thank you.
All right, tell us your thoughts on Midnight.
Yeah, it's funny. When this offer came through to do this, and you mentioned Midnight, I thought you were talking about the John Russo movie from the 70s. So it's a very different film. And I was quite surprised when I realized it was something completely different. I was like, oh, shit, I've never even heard of this movie. I better watch it. And I did. And I liked it very much. It's interesting because, the other film we're going to be talking about is a giallo Italian thriller, and this has a lot of elements in common with that particular genre, I think. And going back to the point that Tina was making, what's interesting about the film is that yes, the use of sound is very creative. The way that we're sort of plunged into the characters' lack of being able to to hear what's going on. But because of the way that it's shot and the way the story is told, it could work as a silent film. It's actually very, very clear and very coherent the whole way through. I did watch it with subtitles, but I could see where you could follow it without, really, because it's more the emotions than anything else that are being translated on screen, and very effectively. The actors are superb from top to bottom. And what I liked about the film very much is something that's missed in a lot of films. I guess you could call them slasher films, whatever you want to call them, which is you really care about these characters. They're very sympathetic, and I don't know why that's lost in a lot of these films. I think they're so concerned about the shock factor that they lose sight of the drama. And so very often you're just, well, I don't care what happens to this person. I frankly, sometimes I wish they would get killed because they're irritating me. These characters you do care about very much. The relationship between the mother and the daughter is very real. Very authentic. I really liked also, we don't see a lot of it, the relationship between the brother and sister, for obvious reasons. That kind of gets sidelined early on, but that sort of surrogate father thing that he's got going on, and he keeps telling her, change into something else unless you want to get killed. He keeps telling her over and over again. So yeah, there was a lot of interesting things in the films. Very, very well paced, very stylishly shot, and again, just because we care about these characters, that really makes all the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right. The most important thing, the stuff that we care about in movies, is the characters. And if they're lacking, who gives a shit if they die or not? So, absolutely agree with that. Are you a big fan of Korean movies? Have you seen a lot, or just kind of?
I'm relatively new to, I guess, specifically South Korean films. Over the last few years, I've gotten very much into directors like Park Chan-wook, for example, and Bong Joon-ho, and I went through a period, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where I watched a ton of these movies. Many of them in the sort of horror and suspense genre, but some of them not. And I really like what I've seen. As a matter of fact, when I was watching this, I kept thinking that a very important actor, and it looked very familiar, and I realized he was in Squid Game, the Netflix miniseries. So yeah, that was a nice connection too. So I'm relatively new to it, but I like what I've seen.
I would recommend Park Chan-wook directed a miniseries version of The Little Drummer Girl.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, so good. Florence Pugh. Oh my God. She's awesome.
Everything he's done has been good. I'm looking forward to watching the new film because I've liked everything that I've seen.
Oh yeah, absolutely, huge fan.
Just stay away from the Korean from Seoul.
Yeah, there's a movie on another channel where I made people watch this awful movie called The Korean from Seoul, which, if you want to, it's on Tubi, but it's one of the worst movies ever made, guaranteed. I will spare you. I will spare you. Trust me. All right, Knight, let's hear from you, bud. Tell us your thoughts on Midnight.
Well, yeah, this was definitely an interesting movie. I did enjoy it. I think it was, like these guys have said, I think it was really well paced. And to Tina's point, when she said that she had watched it without subtitles, I really thought about my experience watching it. And I was thinking to myself, I could have followed it without the subtitles as well, which of course is a credit to the actresses and the actors. in the mother, she was really just like, every time she was on screen, like, look at her face, man. Like, there's so much that you can read in her face, you know what I mean? And it was so many tense moments, like in the police station, when she's right beside, well, I don't want to give, right beside him, and everything's kind of coming to a head. And it was so tense. And one thing I did enjoy is that there were a lot of moments where you didn't know when something was going to happen. Like, they kind of brought you right to the edge of the cliff, and then it was like, okay, are we going to jump? Are we not? And so forth. The killer, he was fantastic. His charisma, his intensity. This movie was really, really good. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of running. I will say that there was a lot of running. So you have got to be a fit person when you're over in Korea. That's all I got to say. But the brother and the sister angle, that was really cool too. The brother especially, I really kind of, I was digging his performance, and especially the scene where he kind of has to make a choice. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And I was thinking, oh no, because the killer was very, very manipulative and very smart, and not always great at what he does, which of course prolonged the plot. But it was cool that way, because you really didn't know what to expect. I was really on the edge of my seat all the way up to the end. The finale was fantastic. So this is definitely one that I'm glad that, because of course I had never seen it. I'm like, well, what the hell is Midnight? I started it up and like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. And once you get into it, about 10 minutes in, it's like, it just kind of goes. So yeah, it was a really good choice. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. There's a lot of running, and
yes.
And I think that was realistic, man. You're being chased. You're gonna fucking run, bro.
And I will say,
like Sonic the Hedgehog.
And I will say that I give her so much credit, because on my channel we joke around a lot, because we do our slasher movie club on Mondays, and we always joke about how people got to learn how to run. Okay, like, if you got your 2 feet, and if you don't have any physical handicaps, and someone's coming after you, run. That's your prime weapon. And a lot of times people can't run. This girl could run, and I got to give her a hell of a lot of credit. Seriously.
Put up against Michael Myers or Jason.
Right?
She fucking wins, bro.
She wins. Yes.
She's gonna live. She will survive that.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Awesome, brother. Thank you, man. Okie dokie. Tony, what did you think? I think you have a very different opinion of this movie.
Yeah, well, I can't run, so I will fight.
Tony.
And that's the one thing that bothered me the most in this movie, is that the only person that fought back was the brother. Mm-hmm. I felt like I'm going to complain first. I felt he was too invincible. I know he's a serial killer, and they keep coming back and all that kind of stuff, but it just like started getting on my nerves. Like, oh my God, just stop and hit him with something. You're in an alleyway. There's a lot of things, just do something. But I will say everybody definitely played their role very well. The mother, when she won, not won, but got her the money for her trip and that.
Sorry to interrupt you real quick. We got our first super chat. I want to address these immediately. Flicks at Dawn, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, super chat's activated. I'm so happy.
It's almost like Wonder Powers activate.
Exactly, right? Holy shit. YouTube is finally working for me. Thank you, Flicks at Dawn. By the way, Flicks is a badass. He's hooking me up with the Steckler set from Severin. He's going to lend me his box set for a big deep dive review. So that's coming up. I don't want to do it in October, so no November thing. It's a November thing. Stay tuned for that. Thank you, Flex. I really appreciate that, buddy. You rock. You know what? I'm gonna take a page out of my buddy. I don't have any funny things. I'm gonna take a page out of my buddy Craven. He always does this for super chat, so I'll throw you one of these. Hi, thank you. A little Forrest Gump wave. As a thanks, my bud. Okay, Poppy the Popcorn. What's up? Good, thank you. I'm happy to have you here, Katie. All right, Tony. Sorry, continue.
Oh, that's all right. I was just saying that the mother. I feel like when she got the money for the trip, like she seemed like she was like a sweetheart. Like she seemed like a really nice lady. And everything. I also liked I thought it was interesting too, because like I've never seen a deaf person like, you know, from Korea, so it was like very different, the sign language and stuff. Not that I understand any, like, but like I get more of an idea when I see it in America than I do on like in Korea. But like when she's sitting at the table with all those people and they're like talking about her and she like knows it, but she doesn't really know what they're saying, and she like says stuff back to them and stuff. It was you know, it was at first it was like, oh, that's funny, you know, and then this movie turns into like more serious. But yeah, I mean, I like the characters, and I was thinking too, like, well, you know, like Tina said, like things echoing. It's like she's wiggling that thing really loud, and he's running. Yeah, it's just, I thought it was like going the whole thing. I thought it was like good, but like I said, I thought he was too powerful. But then the ending was awesome. That ending was like really, really good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. I had to cram it in here because I was, you know, can you come on? But
You're the best at cramming things, pal.
and I too thought he was talking about the release from Severin, the Midnight. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, I saw that, but that's not the one. But yeah, I saw it, and maybe I'll give it another try some other time, and I'll like it more. But I don't know. I just think maybe my environment like was messing with me, like here, because my kid was acting up, and you know I couldn't get into it. So yeah.
Yeah, I get you. So you were a little kind of frustrated with the some of the situations. That's your main takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. We have a comment for Tina here. Way Up Dude says, "Hey Tina, loved you and Crossed the Line. Great movie."
Thank you. Thanks.
And we'll talk about we'll know more about her show very soon. So she'll we'll talk about it on a future episode. We'll know more about that. Okay.
Yeah, you will.
Okie dokie. Oh, Paul. Hey, Paul. Good to have you here, buddy. Okay. Midnight was a movie I'd heard about. I forget what company put it out in the UK. And you know how on this channel we focus on physical media, so I had my eye on it. I'm like, oh, Midnight, that looks. I want to say Eureka, maybe. And I was like, it looks cool. I love Korean horror movies, suspense movies. Some of my favorite stuff, you know, Park Chan-wook. Lady Vengeance is one of the most amazingly directed movies ever made. Masterwork. So I said, okay, I'll find a way to watch it. I grabbed a copy and, well, where is it? Blew me the hell away. So good from beginning to end. Now, here's the problem with a lot of movies. You have a premise, you have an idea, you see the trailer, oh, okay, suspense, but then they kill so much time in the beginning and you get so fucking bored. Like, okay, when is something going to happen? And then finally something happens. Sometimes Korean movies will leave the good stuff for the end. This movie is just nonstop, balls to the wall, run and gun, get the fuck away from this crazy guy. I took notes, so you should probably read my notes so I don't babble. Okay, so this is all I said. This is essentially what I just said. But this is a real rock'em sock'em, balls to the wall action thriller, incredibly tense with nonstop thrills and skin of the teeth escapes. The editing is great and the performances are genuine. Now that's an important thing. Whatever country you're in, if an actor sucks and if an actor's giving an inauthentic performance, then you're gonna check out. You're like, all right, well, this isn't really happening. At no point in this movie did I feel any of these people were actors. And I think that is a testament to the performances, to the directing, and to the writing. Yes, these are heightened situations. These aren't, this isn't going to happen every day. There's ways out of this situation, sure. But the way the movie's constructed, I think, allows you to kind of buy into the reality, like, okay, this is the only option these characters had at the moment. They couldn't think clearly, so this is what they had to do. Run feels like the most instinctual thing. I want to get away from danger. I will run away from it. That feels natural to me. And the way the night looks so great. The color timing on this is amazing. The way they covered all the running, and it just felt like you were running with them. At no point is it, and I've seen it 3 times, and at no point is it a boring movie. At no point is it dull. There's always little things in there like, oh, I never noticed that. And that's, again, a mark of a really solid movie, that it can continue to surprise you. Like a Halloween, like Tina was saying, it stands the test of time. You can watch the movie over again and only notice little things. I love that. This is a very special movie. It's very well constructed. I would even call it a modern masterpiece. So when I thought of this idea of doing foreign movies, this was the first one on my list, because I want to make sure people watch this or know about it, because it fucking rules. I love it so much, and I want to watch more from this director. Admittedly, I haven't looked into it, but I will be doing my research. Those are my initial thoughts. Now we're gonna go back around, and we're gonna give some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to come back in about 5 minutes. But what we shouldn't do, panel, let's not talk about how the movie is solved. The last moments of the movie, let's not talk about that. We'll skirt around that fact, but we'll just talk. We can talk about the events, but let's not talk about the final denouement, for lack of a better word. The last little piece. We'll keep that a surprise for people who want to watch it. That being said, let's go with Nathaniel with his sort of wrap-up thoughts, and then give me your 1 out of 5 stars. Of course, 1 being terrible, 5 being great. Go ahead, take it over.
Well, first, I'd probably give it like, I don't know if we're doing fractions, but I'd give it like 3.5 to 4
Okay.
out of 5. Something that I really thought was interesting is that when Tina brought up watching it without subtitles, one thing that was cool in this is, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a little bit of a controversy about the movie Parasite when it first came out, that you couldn't really subtitle it in English accurately, because in Korean, when you refer to people, there's formal and informal ways of talking to people. And what I thought was cool in this movie that you couldn't do in an American slasher is the killer spoke to everybody very formally, like in the police station when there were people around. He spoke in a totally different way. And you'll notice when he's only after one person, it's just nonstop profanity. It's just constantly vulgar in the way that he's talking down to people. And I love at the end how that switches. Again, I won't ruin what happens, but when he's in public, he suddenly changes the way he speaks, which you don't need the subtitles for. You can hear it in inflection and the way that he's talking to people. But yeah, that's a really great part of his performance, and the way that the girl suddenly starts speaking more strongly to him and starts talking down to him. It's really neat how that's done. So yeah, I want to see it again. I think it'd be really rewarding on a second or a third viewing for sure. And thanks for recommending this one. I want to show it to some more folks now.
I'm happy that you dug it. What how often do you rewatch something? Obviously, with Mondo, you're reviewing stuff. Do you have do you normally watch stuff twice, or is it just kind of a one and done?
I do. I usually watch stuff twice if I want to show it to friends. That happens a lot. So like, if people are coming over, we'll like have a movie party. That's usually when I rewatch stuff. Normally, I don't have a lot of time. One thing, since Troy mentioned the Giallo connection, this also kind of reminded me of the last Dario Argento movie, Dark Glasses, which is also kind of like, it's almost a nonstop chase film, except it's a blind woman and a little kid. But kind of the same idea, there's a serial killer chasing her. So that'd be kind of a cool double feature if you're trying to program out there.
Oh, that's nice. That's not available in the States yet, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's coming to Shudder, I think, next month, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm cautious about it. Because later Argento, I don't know. But you've seen
it's good.
Okay, good. All right, well, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to it. All right, thank you. 3.5 from you. Okay, Tina, take it over. What is your rating and your feeling on the movie?
Well, I'm gonna give it an 8. The fact that I can watch the movie and understand it.
One out of 5.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 10. All right, so let me give it a 4.
Okay.
Okay. I felt all the actors were excellent, and as far as I'm concerned, the lead actor, the male killer, that's Cesar Koze, man. Kaiser Soze, that's it. That's who he is. I don't want to say any more than that, because that would just give that away completely. That guy is crazy, and what he does, what he does and the way he handles it is a little bit. He just gets out of situations way too easy. It's almost like he put himself there on purpose to prove that he can walk away. So you almost look at him like he's the devil, like seriously. And then the ending, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not saying a word about that. Nothing.
Four's pretty good. Four's really good.
Great movie.
Yeah. Is this something you'd like to maybe remake down the line? If a strong women empowerment kind of thriller?
I actually wrote something with a female serial killer that's kind of also in the empowerment part, but in a weird way. Can't give that one away either. So yeah, I already did a little writing on that.
I've seen Limbo, so when you say it kind of a weird way, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh no, and even more linear than you would imagine.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah,
that's good.
More linear.
All right, excellent.
Linear. Just for a minute. Don't expect it to last, okay?
Okay. I'll prepare myself. I'll gird my loins, as they say. Okie dokie. Troy, give us your 1 out of 5 and your sort of last spoilery thoughts, without giving away the ending, of course.
I'm not going to get spoilery. I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. It's not like talking about a 40-year-old movie. This is fresh, so I won't ruin it for people. I give it a 4 out of 5 without a question. It might even go up if I see it again. I do like to revisit movies multiple times. I think sometimes that's essential because there's so much you can miss the first time through. And I have a feeling this is a movie that's got some little layers to it that I'd like to peel back a little more. So it's one I'll definitely revisit. I think one of my favorite scenes in the film, maybe the favorite scene in the film for me, was just that whole scene in the police station. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It goes from 1 to 11 pretty dramatically and very effectively, and I really enjoyed the character of the old guy that was there that gets into it with the killer, and it plays back to what Nathaniel was talking about, that whole notion of respecting your elders and how you talk to people and how you present yourself, which gives rise to some pretty good comedy in a scene that's otherwise pretty intense and becomes rather brutal too. So good stuff.
It's funny because that's also a part of that culture too. You respect your elders, and you talk a certain way to them. There's different pronouns and uses for elder people and stuff like that. So I that definitely speaks to the culture. I really like that as well. How often? What's the? Because you with your books, you obviously have to rewatch these movies over and over to kind of find little hidden nuggets. What's your average? Let's say you're doing something for a book. What's your average? How many times have you seen? Okay. How many times have you seen Black Sabbath? You probably lost count.
More times than I could count. I couldn't tell you down through the years. I've probably seen it at least a dozen times, maybe more. I don't know. There are films that I wouldn't say are great films that I've just watched a lot. Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, House of Frankenstein, movies like that I would not say are great films. I've seen them. I couldn't tell you. Upwards of 20 times. And I could probably quote the entire film, but I can still watch them anytime because they're just fun. There are films that I have seen many, but there are other films that you see and you like, but you don't want to go there too often for one reason or another. It's like some of Gaspar Noé's stuff, for example. It's good, and I'm glad I saw it, but I don't really want to watch that a lot. So it just depends.
Yeah, I see that happening with modern movies for me. It kind of got shit on, but I love the hell. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The hell out of Ambulance, the Michael Bay movie. It's so good. It's crazy, man. Nathaniel, were you a fan?
It won me over during the high-speed surgery scene. That was brilliant. That was right on board. I won't say more than that.
Oh, it's just it's a tour de force when it comes to directing. It just blew me away. But it's one of those I don't know that I want to rewatch it. I liked it, but yeah. But then again, I've seen Plan 9 from Outer Space 20 times, for lack of a, but it's about 20, maybe more, because I I enjoy it. There's something about that movie that's really magical. R. Hilton Fine Art says, "Hi, Troy and Nathaniel. Love your commentaries, fellas."
Thank you.
Thank you.
They love your comment. Paul says, "I've been watching Korean films for years, and they put out a lot of quality movies. They do indeed, and they're all freaky deaky." All right. Thank you, Troy. Nightwatch, take it over, my friend. What are your kind of final thoughts and your out of 5 ratings?
Well, I'm gonna give it. I mean, I really enjoyed this movie, but I think I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. And the only reason I'm not gonna go higher, and I think Tony was kind of mentioning it earlier, there were moments where I was thinking, "Come on, do something, scream, yell, do something." Of course, the other side of that is that you're on the edge of your seat, and there's a lot of tension. I think the performances were all great. Like it's already been mentioned, the police station scene was really good, man. Like so much tension in that scene. I also loved the chase scene in the the garage area where she's running down that corridor, and you've got the lights kind of going on and off, kind of flashing and stuff like that. There was a lot of great camera work in the movie too. The ending, or near the ending, when she's in her apartment, and I'm just thinking, okay, you just survived, an encounter. You got to be on your toes, So there were moments like that where, and these things have to happen in a movie for things to progress. But there were moments like that where I was a little, frustrated, but also, on edge, because I'm rooting, for this character. I'm rooting for her and her mother. So, it's kind of like that whole thing where you love the actors, you love the characters, you're frustrated that they just can't get rid of this son of a what. And but it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's really well done. And there's a lot of great scenes in it. A lot of great scenes. It really gives you a sense of what it's like to be without your sense of hearing, and how crippling that can be. Even something as simple as being near a street full of cars, and I think they were really effective at showing that. Things that you don't really think about, or things you kind of take for granted. So, but I think it was a really cool movie, but I'd give it 4. I'd give it 4 out of 5.
That's great. I'm really glad everybody's enjoying this, except for Tony. Let's see what Tony has to say. Tone Bone, what are we giving Midnight?
Well, not to being harsh on it. I didn't hate it. It just like I said, it was just annoying how he was so powerful, and like people, like, I don't know. I think after a while it just gets sick of like being pushed around, and just like, you're in your apartment, grab a knife, or something. He doesn't know your apartment. I was kind of hoping at one point in time she would like maybe turn off all the lights so he lost one of his senses or something, but it didn't happen. But I'm gonna give it a 3. I would like to watch it again when no one's home. But I thought the killer was maniacal and that, and like I said, the ending definitely won me over. Well, again, we're not gonna spoil, but yeah, that ending was great. Like I was like, ooh,
Well, I love that face. Ooh.
Like I want to say something. It's like, no, I can't. I don't want to say it.
Yeah. No, better not. It's definitely one to watch. And by the way, this movie is available on Tubi. You guys can go watch it for free. You don't need to buy anything. It's there, and it's definitely worth your time. And it does come with subtitles, so you can either watch it the Tina Krause way, or watch it, or watch it with the American way.
I don't feel like watching the subtitles like takes you away from the movie either. Sometimes that could happen, and I think that some people, like, I hate watching subtitles. I have captions on everything, even the news, so it doesn't bother me at all.
That's how you know you're getting old. Because I remember, well, I grew up in a house where my mother didn't speak English, so we had to rent everything, subtitled in Spanish. So I'm used to subtitles, but I'm noticing myself turning on the closed captioning. I'm like, damn it, I feel like this is such like a sign that my hearing is deteriorating. They gotta make sure I understand what's going on here.
It
Yeah,
helps
that
with my
happens.
kids too because they read it, and that really helped with school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Damn, I should have used that when my kids were little. Like, no, they're learning English. This is good for them. They're learning to read. Let them watch more movies.
Yeah.
Okay, great. 3 stars. All right, Midnight. I've seen it 3 times. It's still really kept up the tension for me. I love all the little nuances. I think it's a solid ass movie. I'm going full 5 for this one. I really liked it. And for anybody who's interested, this was put out by, actually, I have no idea who, Cinedigm, I think. It doesn't have any special features. It just has the trailers, and the inside is blank. But no special features, unfortunately. But maybe we'll get a special. I don't know if the Eureka version has special features or not. Maybe one day we'll get a 4K upgrade with Nathaniel and Troy dropping some knowledge on the commentary track. That would be amazing. How crazy would that be? That would be so cool. And then, you know what? It's 100% plausible. So that's Midnight. We're gonna put Midnight to bed and move on to our next movie, which, in my opinion, smells a little eggy. This is Giallo in Venice, also known as Gore in Venice. The version, and I've been told this, I didn't know this, but thanks to Nathaniel, I've been told that the version on Tubi is not the correct version. It's not the full version. Nathaniel, is that what's going on there?
Yeah, it's for some reason Full Moon got the rights from Code Red, and for some reason the streaming one they cut they renamed it Gore in Venice, and they cut most of the gore out, along with a lot of the sex, and I don't know why they did that, but yeah, dumb move, guys.
Yeah. I thought that was weird. It's called Gore in Venice. I'm like, man, there's barely any blood in this. What the hell are they talking about? But anyway, real brief plot description. In Venice, a detective is on the trail of a killer who commits a double murder of a married couple. Then more grisly killings occur. Sex, drugs, gore, and perversions are ingredients of this sadistic and sleazy giallo. And coming from a Spanish household, I always used to call it giallo because it's a hard G in Spanish, so I have to get used to it. Giallo! Hey, giallo in Venezia! Okay, enough of that. It's the last time I do that, I promise. All right, let's go the other way. We're gonna go the other way. Counter clock. We're gonna start with Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Well, I could easily just say this. Because I was rushed into this panel, I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I'm told it's sleazy.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, unfortunately, Tony did not have a chance to watch the movie. But from what you know, are you a big fan of giallo movies in general?
Yeah, I when I used to get screeners for Arrow, that was the first I ever started watching any giallos, and I've come to like them. I know they're all kind of the same in a way, but I never know who the freaking killer is most of the time. So I like that reveal, but I feel like a lot of them are one watch sometimes. And it's like, I don't really need to watch that one again. But yeah, I do like giallos a lot.
I love it. All right, so for those of you who have seen it, we'll save spoilers for the second round. So just this will be sort of your brief interactions, and we can spoil the shit out of this one because it's old, so it's we're okay. All right, Knight.
Well, this was interesting. I mean, I like giallos. Obviously, a lot of this was cut, and you can really tell that this is really cut. And like you said, there wasn't a lot of gore, which was kind of like, oh man, what are we getting into here? The lead cop, God, I absolutely loved him, and yet was like, what the hell is up with him and those eggs? He literally had an egg in every scene, and not only did he have an egg, he had 2 things that he did with these eggs. Number one, he usually was talking to people right like in their face while he's eating an egg, and he's always throwing the shells on the floor. It doesn't matter where he was. He's sitting there, boop, boop, boop. And I'm like, this gimmick, this is crazy. Like, he even had people throwing him an egg. Give me that. And they just pull an egg out of their pocket. It's like, what the hell is going on with this, man? But it was kind of like, I'm poking fun at it, but it kind of had a little bit of a charm to it because it kind of keyed me into him as a character. You know what I'm saying? In a weird way. I know that sounds totally wacky, but it did, because I'm like, okay, let me see if he's gonna have an egg in the next scene. It was pretty good. I mean, kind of like what Tony was saying. I usually don't know who the killer is right off the bat. Sometimes you figure it out, through the movie. Again, because it was cut up, it was kind of odd. There were a couple good moments here and there. There was a scene where someone literally gets burned, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty rough. And it was done okay. It was definitely sleazy. There's some horny people over there, man, and that's all I gotta say. Like, I mean, horny, but no, all seriousness though, it was pretty cool for what it was. I do like giallos, so for me, it was like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen, and it wasn't too bad. I will say I'd like to see the full uncut version of it at some point. So it was interesting enough that I probably would do that, because I'm the type of person, even if the movie isn't really great, if it has some type of charm to it, again, like the lead detective, the horny couple, things like that, it's kind of like, okay, let me just check this out again. So one day, I'll probably watch the full version of it.
That's interesting, because I had the separate opinion when Nathaniel said that there's a longer version. I'm like, I'm good. I think I've seen enough. I've seen enough. But speaking of that longer version, let's turn it over to Troy, because he did the commentary for the full version. Is that correct, Troy?
Yeah, I had to talk over a lot of sex. I had to talk over a lot of blowjob action in a movie theater that's gone from this version, for example.
Wow.
It is part of a trend, a weird sort of desperate trend that happened in the late 70s in Italy, when the Italian film scene was kind of falling into disrepair. That basically movies were not being cranked out with the same gusto as they had been earlier in the decade. TV was taking over. They're trying to find ways of, sort of refreshing these old formulas. So there was a couple of films in the late 70s that were literal porno gialli. There's a movie also called Play Motel, which is a similar thing. It's another giallo, but it has it has other kind of penetration action in it. This continued into the 90s. There's a movie called Masquerade, or The Black Gloves, which has people like Rocco Siffredi and Terry Weigel and Joey Silvera, porno stars of the era in the film. So they were doing pretty much all they could to kind of spice these movies up a little bit and make them a little bit more saleable. Even a couple of earlier movies like So Sweet, So Dead and Slaughter Hotel, really deranged movie with Koskinski, they kind of put some hardcore inserts into that kind of, make them a little bit more salacious. I mean, I pity anybody that sees this and this is their first example of a giallo, because they might say, oh, I don't need to see any more of this. It doesn't have the artistry of the best films. So we think of people like Bava, Argento, Fulci, Dallamano, various other directors. This is not that. It's a very grubby, sleazy exploitation film in its full strength version. It has a couple of scenes in it that are extraordinarily violent and vicious and protracted. This is very much a neutered version. So if you've not seen the full strength version, you haven't really got the full effect. It's not really one of the better ones, to be honest with you, but it does have its charms.
So just to clarify, you're telling me that there's actual like blow job scenes in the movie?
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie theater where it's real. It's
wow.
It's not faked. It's in there, but it's in there. It's just like the spaghetti sauce.
Sure.
It does get much more graphic, and like I said, there are other films that went even further. But it's a very grubby movie. It kind of makes you want to have a shower afterward.
Indeed, absolutely, and I would imagine there's more gore in the longer version as well.
Yeah, infamous murder scene involving an actress named Maria Angela Giordano, who people may remember from The Immortal Burial Ground, where her little boy, played by an adult midget named Peter Bark, bites her breast at the end of the film. She, that's it right there. She is dismembered on a table. It's much, much more graphic in the full uncut version.
Okay, because I was like, okay, there's got to be more to this thing, because that was the one part that kind of jumped out at me, like, what the hell? Yeah, man, Burial Ground. That's a movie.
That's a fun one. I like it. I actually,
yeah.
I wouldn't argue it's a great movie, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's better than this one. We'll put it that way.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, I tried to get Peter Bark, or somebody was trying to get me in touch with Peter Bark. I forget his real name, Pietro something. Get him on here to interview him for it, but I don't even know if he knows English, so it might be tricky.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, Troy. Tina. Let's talk about eggs.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I do have a question. Like, what the hell is up with the cop and the eggs? The only thing that I can focus on was the eggs. I couldn't focus on what was going on. I couldn't focus on like the pretend sex scenes or whatever the hell was going on there. I'm not gonna lie. Not a fan of this movie. Not a fan. I wanted to like it. I thought I was gonna like it when it opened up. I kind of liked the music going on and the opening of the scene of having like the dead bodies, but I definitely wanted to see more gore. I definitely like that opening scene. If it was super gory with just everything else being the same but super gory, would have been like perfect. So kind of, on that. Yeah, it wasn't sold. And then you got the protagonist, and you got the guy who, is, I mean, this guy, I think he would fuck a frog. I really do. It's like, does not anything get this guy not horny? Like, oh my God, he's looking at another guy with his own girl. What are you doing? And I thought that, yeah, there you go. But I think he was, I think the position was the other way. I think she was facing the wall. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So part of me doesn't really want to judge this film entirely because I haven't seen the real film, so to speak. The cut up version, I am gonna judge. Fucking sucks. Absolutely. No, I'm not gonna be. Let's not candy coat it.
No.
You cut all of that out to leave us with what? A soap opera that no one understands? Get the fuck out of here, please. I'm like, that's just dumb and stupid. And then you're gonna say that this isn't this guy's best film, and you're gonna cut out the best parts. Smart move. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm on the verge of giving it a 0, but I won't because it's not a fair judgment, because it's a possibility that it could follow something that is a little entertaining. And as far as putting gore in Venice, there is no gore. So it's just Venice.
Just Venice. Yeah.
Venice.
That's an interesting fact, because I was gonna go pretty harsh on it, but you're right. If the movie is butchered, then we can't actually say we saw the movie. But then again, if it's like 20 minutes of BJ's, then I think I kind of get the movie.
I don't know if that's gonna change my opinion. It might make it worse, but
like, this is a lot better now.
I want to see the gore. Damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Nathaniel, do you have any reason why there's so many eggs in this movie?
Yeah, please.
Well, I came prepared, so excuse me here.
Oh, come on.
Are you gonna throw the shell?
Oh yeah, throw the shells on the floor. Flick them on the floor.
Throw it on the floor.
But now you have dry eggs in your mouth, and it'll take you like 10 minutes to get through it. I hope you have a drink there.
Well, I'm going to talk like a cop now. So this movie.
To my beer.
Yeah, this movie is totally ridiculous. From what it's worth, Troy's commentary on this is hilarious. It's been a while since I reviewed the disc, but Troy's commentary is great. There's a moment like halfway through where he gets so exasperated. He's like, "Enough with the eggs already." I don't know if Troy remembers doing that, but it's a great moment. His track is kind of sublime. It's actually better than the movie. Yeah, this movie is just insane. Even in the uncut version, you get the gore. But what's weird to me is they don't really set much of it in Venice, because I mean it's like a beautiful city, and most of it takes place. They just go off to some field in the middle of Italy. That's nothing to do with Venice. So I'm like, what? Why aren't you in Venice? What's going on here? Like, you should kill people on some boats. You have a gondolier with a knife or something. Do something fun with it. It's not boring. I will say I was very entertained by this one, and it's too bad the big gore scene is missing, because that's the moment everybody remembers, when the legs getting sawed. But yeah, it's a pretty nutty film. I'm not even really sure it's a mystery for Giallo. There's not much of a whodunit, because you get to the end and it's like, oh, that's all it was, because they set the beginning up with a couple like it's this huge murder mystery, and you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay, well that's kind of underwhelming. So yeah, that's for a Giallo. Like, there's not a whole lot of punch at the end. But again, it's got the sleaze factor. So I didn't fall asleep, but it's not a very good film, but it's kind of an interesting one. And it was fun watching it again. I will say I definitely wasn't filling my phone or anything. It kept my attention. So it is what it is.
That's good. I love it. Paul says, Tina telling it how it is. Hell yeah.
Paul, what's going on, Paul? Glad you're watching.
It's amazing. All right. I have a love-hate relationship with Giallo films. There's a handful that I think are masterworks. The bulk that I've seen, I just feel very underwhelmed and very let down and kind of bored by, honestly. Mainly because, like Tina, I'm a filmmaker, and I can't watch a movie as an audience anymore. I watch it as a filmmaker, so I'm like, oh, well, why do we have that scene? That's complete fluff. We don't need that. Well, why'd they say this if they said that? I never. Tony says he never predicts the killer. I never predict the killer myself. But this movie, I'm like, well, it's obvious that she killed him, and then maybe she jumped in the water to like commit suicide, and then somebody pulled her out, or I wasn't clear on exactly what happened, but I knew it was gonna be like she killed him. Maybe he was trying to drown her. Something like he tried to drown her, and then but we're giving spoilers away. But whatever. I it's my show, so I can do it. This movie's been out. Don't worry about it. But anyway, maybe I'll say that for round 2. But I felt like this one was predictable for me. So the whole movie, I'm like, this just feels like I'm just wasting time talking to this guy. The detective guy. Yes, I caught that too. Night. He's like in some guy's house. He's dropping shells on the goddamn carpet. What the shit? I'm like, dude, what are you doing, idiot? Get a fucking like blanket or something, like a tissue paper. What is that? I did not get the weirdest character thing, and I get it. Every actor wants business, and I love giving an actor business because they're not just standing there waiting for the line, and they say the line. You'll notice it if it's just like, oh, I'm putting stuff away, groceries are away, or playing with their hair, whatever. There's always business is important. But the eggs thing, it just felt like that goes, I'll do the movie, but I want to eat eggs the whole fucking time. I love eggs. Give me eggs, nonstop eggs. Maybe they paid him in eggs. I don't know. But regardless, it was so weird, so strange, and it was so off-putting that it really took me away from the movie. If he was doing anything else but eating eggs, maybe I would have liked it. I don't know. But I doubt it. This one was really slow for me, and I don't like the detective angle so much. I like the slasher stalker angle. And that wasn't really here. I mean, it's here, but it's not here. They kind of like, there's a couple like toward the end where things kind of change a bit. You're like, oh, okay, so wait, is that the killer? Are we following this person now? What's going on? Maybe the longer version with more BJs would clear it up. Like, oh, okay, gotcha. Now that everything's in. Now that we've got some of this footage in here, I get it. Yeah, a little more gore would have made this more memorable. So maybe I'll try and go back and I'll try and find that version if there's any way to see it online, or if I can. I don't know if the disc is still available. When we get around to Troy, we'll find out. But I'd like to see that lady cut to pieces. Hey, call me crazy, but that's what we came for. Not a guy eating eggs in Venice. Yeah, a weird movie. Certainly not the best. If this is your first Giallo movie, keep going, because this is not the best. This is not the best of the best. You will find better. Okay, Tony, we'll come back around, but since you haven't seen it, I'll just ask you a question. Do you like hard-boiled eggs?
I can't eat eggs anymore. It makes me sick. But like a straight up egg. But I once did, when I was doing low carb, I challenged myself to eat nothing but eggs for a month, and I did.
Wow.
And I lost 31 pounds that month.
Just eggs, and you
Just
prepared them
eggs.
differently, I guess, right? Like
Yeah,
fried.
like, you know, once sometimes it was scrambled, sometimes it was hard boiled, dippy eggs, as we call them around here.
What is that? What is dippy eggs?
Like sunny side up.
Oh, okay.
We call them dippy. Yeah. I like eggs. It's just, I don't know. When I got older, like, I can't have certain things, and eggs is one of them. I miss them.
Yeah,
I do like them.
Well,
But,
welcome to getting old. I'm gluten intolerant, so right now, currently, I'm on a off topic. But since we're talking about diet, I'm currently on a carnivore diet, and I love it because I love meat. And if all I do is eat meat, it's fantastic. I'm having a great time.
Nice.
So that's been working out for me. All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts on Giallo in Venice. How many stars do you give it?
I don't know. I'm interested in why he's getting a blowjob. That's what I really want to know. What's so
really
special
why.
about this guy?
He's got a delicious wiener, I guess. I don't know.
Delicious wiener. Bon appetit.
I think we killed Tina over here.
You did. You got me.
Okay.
I can't help you with this.
All right. Well, let you compose yourself. Knight, give us your final thoughts and your 5-star ratings.
Yeah, well, I just want to say I am glad that this was one of the choices, because it was just so friggin' bonkers. And yeah, it shouldn't be called Gore in Venice. It should either be called Horny in Venice or Eggs in Venice. And I'm, like I said, it's not the whole movie. So I would really like to see, what else is in it, if that makes any difference at all. I'm thinking it probably won't move the needle a lot. It's cheesy. A lot of it doesn't really make sense. There is some charm to it. The egg guy was, like I said, about 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in maybe, I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is this guy's gimmick. He's going to have an egg in every scene. And sure enough, he always did. He'd even put the egg in people's faces. And I'm just like, wow. So for me, based upon what I saw, I don't know, man. It's not the whole thing. Maybe I'd give it a 2, something like that. Like, yeah, I wasn't, put it this way, I didn't shut it off. I really did want to finish it, so I'll at least give it that. But yeah, the egg thing, that was just crazy as hell. I've never seen anything like that at all. I mean, people throwing him eggs. He's got eggs in his pocket. He's pulling eggs out of thin air. Like, this guy is the best, So anyways, I give it a 2.
A 2. Yeah, he's the egg master, dude.
He is.
Would it be hilarious if, like, it's a little known fact that they don't sell hard-boiled eggs in Venice? It's like a rule because of this movie. Like, no more eggs. No, I don't know. I doubt that happens. But it'd be awesome too. Halloween ends. Michael Myers just pulls out an egg.
Stop.
It's just like
the scene where he had the salt shaker. That's when I was like totally like, he's prepared. Like, I gotta have salt on my hard-boiled eggs too. And I'm like, man, he has not only got the egg, but he's got the salt too, ready on standby.
And
I'm
nothing
like,
to drink. Like, that shit's like,
Yes!
you can, like, right? It's like,
you gotta have
like
something
sandy.
to drink. And he's eating the egg, and he's like, it just tripped me out, because I was just thinking, how are these people able to stand in front of this guy? Like, he's literally like that close to them. You know, it was a couple times when he's eating and he's like, well, you did it. And he's putting the egg right in the guy's face. I'm like, oh, this is so friggin' gross. But funny in a way. So like I said, I didn't shut it off. So I got to give it at least that much credit because I just wanted to see where this thing was going to go, you know?
Yeah, it almost feels like a gag, you know, like
Yes.
like let's see if the audience will notice that this guy's nonstop eating eggs or something, like a weird like Naked Gun gag. Luckily, I don't remember though that he doesn't make out with anybody, right? Because that would be really bad.
No, but he was in the face of the women he was interrogating. You know, he'd be like, you know, I was like, dude, that's got to be so gross and smelly, you know?
Yeah, right. I'm like, he carries those eggs in his pocket all day. I can't imagine they'd be like the freshest things in town.
Never washing his hands. Like, it's like, dude, come on. And throwing the shells everywhere. It was almost like he did it with like reckless abandon. He's like flicking in. He's like, like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care, man. Eggs are my life. Eggs and solving crimes. That's what he does. All right, two stars. Okay, very good. All right, Troy, we're gonna circle back and give us your wrap up thoughts. And honestly, do you have a reason why there's so many eggs in the movie?
Product placement. I would think usually it's J&B whiskey, but it's not the case here. It's eggs. You know, it's a political statement, isn't it? He's a working class man. And he's going into the bourgeoisie homes and he's showing these rich bastards what he thinks of them by throwing eggshells on their floor. That's it. That's got to be it. No, sure. Kojak had his lollipop. Columbo had his cigar, and this guy Jeff Flynn, who plays the character of the inspector, is an American actor. Funnily enough, he decides he's got to have his own little gimmick. So eggs it is. So we get eggs throughout the movie. I can assure you, it's the only giallo ever made that has this type of egg fetish. There's even a movie called Death Laid an Egg, which is a very weird film. A very arty giallo, indeed, from the late '60s, and it doesn't have nearly as many eggs as this movie. So, there are worse gialli. I've seen all the Italian ones. Some of them many times. Some I've just watched once, and that's enough. I can assure you there are worse ones. There are far worse ones, but there are also many better ones. I would struggle maybe a 1.5. 2 in that area probably for this one. The music was mentioned. It's by a composer named Berto Pisano. It was not composed for the film. That's probably why it's so good. It was composed for another giallo from the late 60s called Interrobang, movie from the late 60s, which is not really what you would think of as a typical giallo. It's before the giallo kind of really it started to revolve around body count type movies, thanks to Dario Argento's movies. But the music was composed for that, which is why it's probably so good. Because it was written for a better film and they had money in the budget for a proper score, whereas they didn't have money for that here. It's not the worst, but it's definitely down there among one of the weaker entries. So, yeah, if this is your introduction to the genre, rest assured there are better ones out there, much better ones. Don't give up hope.
Well, what's your star rating out of 5?
So 1.5 or 2.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty low. I thought you'd go a little higher. I haven't done the commentary and everything, but
no, I don't always love the movies I do commentaries for. If they want to pay me to talk about them, I will find a way to talk about the more positive things if I can, and try to contextualize things. And I thought it was an interesting movie to talk about in the sense of it. It's just the desperation, that period of desperation in Italy. Trying to get people into the cinemas, trying to find some gimmicks to get people back into watching movies in the theater. I thought it was a good representative example of that. But as a film, no, it's not. It's competently made, at least. I mean, it's not ineptly put together, at least in the uncut version. But it's not, it's not anything to write home about.
Is the disc available with your commentary or not yet? Or is it out of print?
They never tell me what happens with these. It was available. I'm not sure. Nathaniel probably know better than me, funnily enough, if it's still available to order or not.
It's out of print. The Full Moon did their own Blu-ray now, which you have to get. If you get Code Red did the original Troy's commentary. I looked actually this morning, and it was like $60 on Amazon, but the Full Moon is like cheap. I assume their Blu-rays chopped to bits too, but I don't know.
Probably. Okay, excellent. I guess that's true. If you're doing the commentary, you can't necessarily phone it in. You can be like, "Oh, this sucks. Oh, this is so stupid."
Did you say excellent?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah, I did. Good catch.
Okay.
I'm always excited when people catch my puns. All right, I'm gonna throw it to you from my pocket. There you go. Okay. All right, Troy. Thank you. Okay, Tina. Let's hear it from you. I know you love this movie. Final thoughts and star rating.
I am not gonna say this is excellent. Okay. I'm gonna go with a 1. One thing I can't stand is when films do stuff just for getting a rating. Okay. So yeah, you could see a lot of that right there. Like, you're gonna use sex and you're gonna use whatever just to get the film put out, but it just didn't make any sense to me. I mean, actually the only entertaining thing about this film, to be honest with you, is the fucking eggs. And I don't even know why, because I'm like, this is stupid. Like, this guy got me hooked so much on his stupid eggs. I didn't even pay attention to half the shit. I'm like, oh yeah, oh, they're gonna make out in an alley and get fucked again. Oh, okay, this guy's gonna go here and get fucked. But they don't even show that, which I'm like, that's weird, because it's an Italian film. And most European films show that, because that's not really a problem. It's not like here in the United States where we put the kibosh on that. They don't see that as an issue. Nudity isn't a problem, and sex isn't a problem. So you'll see a lot of that in a lot of their other films. It's kind of common. So when I'm watching this and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck just happened here? Oh no, it didn't happen. And then it's gore. I'm like, so where was the gore? I didn't see anything gory at all. I'm like, So again, I'm giving a rating based on, I guess, somebody's version of this film. And I don't know if I'm going to say that this film is any better if I see the other version of it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a little bit better. So we're going to go with my 1.
Okay, that's fair. I think I may land there as well. Okay, Nathaniel, let's hear from you and your star rating. Oh, let me unmute you here. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. There you go. Go ahead.
I think I hit the D key there. Yeah, so I've seen the uncut one, so I go more with a 2. I think a 2 is about right. Some of the gore, when you see it, is actually pretty fun. Kind of a nonsensical movie. Definitely at the lower tier of the giallo, as Troy said. I pretty much agree with what he said. I do wonder, with all the detective business with the eggs, though, I do wonder if Brad Pitt maybe saw this before he made 7, because he's always chewing gum and pulling gum out and like doing that in 7. So maybe he's a Giallo in Venice fan. I don't know. But it's like whatever. It's like a time killer. They're just trying to sort of get your attention with enough sex and violence to wake you up, because that's what they thought people wanted. But there's a reason it never got dubbed. It never got released in the U.S. or pretty much anywhere else. And yeah, you can probably see why. So yeah, 2 it is.
2. I think that's good. And it's interesting. I mean, because you guys have seen so much. So for this to be a 2, we hopefully when future episodes you guys drop some recommendations, we'll get some real blown away titles here. I can't wait. Very excited for that. For me, I think I'm siding with Tina here. 1, and again, yes, I didn't see the full movie, but from what Troy says, if it's full of blowjobs and that doesn't make a movie. It doesn't necessarily, paint a rosy picture of a good plot, if that's what you're stuffing it with, for lack of a better phrase. But 1, I think is where it lands for me. I wish it were better. It was still very dry procedural stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. I kind of like when it's more intense, or when it's the the everyman who gets sucked into the situation and he has to kind of, Hitchcock his way through it. That kind of stuff is really fun. But I don't particularly like just, unless it's a police detective, which over giallo, my favorite Italian subgenres, the spaghetti westerns and the police detective. I love those. I can watch those nonstop. For some reason, the procedurals work so well in those, but in a giallo, I feel like I don't care, cop. I'm here to see people get killed. So where's blood and boobies? Let's do it. And when a movie doesn't do that, I'm disappointed. But one for Gore in Venice, and I apologize for everyone who hasn't seen it yet for providing a cut movie. I did not know that this movie. I knew it was short, but I didn't realize it was going to be, neutered. But I guess I saved you a couple of BJs there. I mean, if you want to go find it, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. You can find it somewhere. But the disc is out of print, sadly. Well, who knows? They may bring it back. Okay, so that is both movies. And now comes the time as we wrap up this first episode where we get to pick who goes next on all the colors of the dork. So I've got this up here, and what we're gonna do, what I do on my other panel show, is we do process of elimination. So last person standing will be, and Tina. Sorry, I have to keep Tina muted because of the echo. So I apologize, Tina. But I will unmute you right now, and you can cheer along with everybody. And let's see. Last person standing will go next, and then they will reveal what their movies are. Here we go. Who's out? Oh, no! It's Tina.
Ah!
Oh.
All right. So, all righty. Here we go. Sorry, Tina. You'll have to try again next time. Here we go.
Okay.
Next.
Oh, no!
Troy is out. Okay. Here we go. Last person standing.
The T's are gone.
I know, right?
Oh, wow.
The ends are standing.
That was so close. Nathaniel wins. He's hosting episode Dose. All right, Nathaniel, do you have your movies picked out?
I do have my movies picked out.
All right, why don't you tell us what they are?
Okay, I have picked two movies from two different European countries, and they both take place at colleges. The first one is Bloody Moon by Jess Franco. And the second one is Anatomy from 2000, the German film.
So Anatomy and what was the other one?
Anatomy and Bloody Moon. They're both on Tubi.
And Bloody Moon.
Oh man, I just got the Bloody Moon
Because I'm on
with the
Tubi right
severance
now, so guess what I'm watching? And I was in the middle of watching a fucking Korean film, so thank you. All right.
Well, there's that. Well, we'll figure out a date off air. But yes, the great choices. Episode 2 will be Bloody Moon and
Anatomy.
was it? Anatomy. I was gonna say Autopsy, but yeah, Anatomy. Excellent. Okie dokie. Sorry, Tina, I'm gonna mute you. I apologize. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that echo. We're gonna get her some headphones. It's okay. It's okay. It's just the joys of live. It is very tricky. Okay. Excellent. That's episode 2. Details to follow. Knight, I know it's not the typical thing you do over on your channel, man, but do you want to host episode 2 over there?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So episode 2 will be over in the Nightwatch Zone sometime in October. So these will be our Halloween episode. We're going to figure out a date off air, and that information will follow. Over here on my channel on Friday, I'm talking with Michael Bowen, the one and only Doris Wishman expert. He and I go way back. We actually worked on Doris's last movie. So we're going to be talking all about Doris Wishman. Everything you've ever wanted to know about Doris Wishman, you will find out on Friday. Saturday, we're going to be covering the Vinegar Syndrome announcement for October 1st. So join us live for that. And that day, that Saturday, the 1st, I will announce the dates, or the date, one date, for All the Colors of the Dork Part 2. over on the Nightwatch Zone. By the way, if you've not subscribed to Nightwatch or Tony, links in the description for them. My guests don't have channels as far as I know. You guys don't have channels, right? Okay. Sorry, Tina. What was that, Tina?
I said not yet. Soon though.
Not yet. Not yet. There you go. All right. So that's it. That's episode 1. Oh my god, how fun was this? I had such a great time talking eggs and and Korean people running around. What a joy. Let me just briefly well, we didn't do plugs. Let's do plugs real quick. We'll go that way. Okay, Nathaniel, is there anything you want to plug, let the audience know about?
No, just like I said, new show on Shudder. Originally called 101 Screams. Now it's 101 Scariest Moments of all time. Also, a lot of commentaries on the way. Yesterday, I just announced I have 2 commentaries in the new Mega Burt Reynolds box set coming out in Australia.
I saw that.
So, yeah, you can listen to me go on and on about Stroker Ace and Cannonball Run 2 if you're feeling so inclined.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw that pop up. I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Amazing. Oh, by the way, pardon me. As the host, you can bring on a guest. So, like Tony won't be here next time. So, Nathaniel, if you'd like to bring somebody on, let us know. If you can't find anybody, let me know, and I'll find someone to fill the slot. But that sounds weird. That sounds inappropriate. But you know what I mean. Okay, Tina. We mentioned a little bit at the beginning, but is there anything you want to plug for us?
Oh yeah. Right now, currently, I am shooting a new movie. 2 actually. Well, one right now is kind of on hold. So Bug House is on hold because of footage that we found. We're still going through it. It's a lot. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to be shooting Dr. X, which I think I put a casting call out. So we do have most of our cast. We're getting ready to shoot. And then, then we're going to have Urban X is coming out. And that's the exploration of abandoned buildings and stuff like that. So that'll be coming out soon. So, yeah, guys, keep your eyes open.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw the casting call. I think you put it on Facebook. I'm like, damn it. I want to be in a Tina Krause movie. But too far away. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
I think I'll be out there pretty soon. And, I'll let you know.
Nice.
Keep you in mind. How about that?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm down.
Paul says, great panel. Everybody here is awesome. That is correct.
Yay. Thank you, Paul.
Casey says, excellent panel as usual. Just subscribe to Nightwatch Zone.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
You'll like it. He's got the best voice on YouTube, man.
Thanks, man.
I love it. Okay, Troy, what do you got for us? Anything you want to plug?
Well, my newest book will be coming out within the next couple of weeks. It's called Make Them Die Slowly. It's about the Italian director Umberto Lenzi, well known for Polizieschi, Gialli, cannibal films, and just about everything else you can think of. Director of Nathaniel's favorite movie of all time, Cicciabamba. And definitely, definitely looking forward to that finally coming out. And this weekend, Nathaniel and I will be recording a commentary for one of my all-time favorite movies. I can't tell you what it is just yet, but it's something I'm very excited to be doing. So lots of gabbing in the future.
You know, it's funny because like you guys kind of are in the know for all like the physical media coming out in the future. So I know you can't say, but maybe toss a couple hints through in an email. You don't have to say it in public, but I'm always curious what's coming out. I promise, mum's the word. I knew about the Nasty Habits box set for like almost half a year. I didn't say nothing, so I'm good. But I like to know. Spoilers make me happy. but anyway, yeah, we'll say that for maybe an off-air conversation. Excellent, Troy. Thank you so much. Knight, what's going on over there, brother?
Just the usual streaming. I'm doing my Thursday morning streams, which has been an incredible thing I didn't think I'd be doing. Been doing it for just a couple months now, so I'll be doing that tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. have your coffee and donuts, and we just chill. We just chat. It gives me a chance to talk to, the viewers a little bit more personally, because when you're talking about a movie, you don't always get a chance to talk to everyone watching you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've specifically kind of put that together so I could just talk to the folks, and they kind of determine a lot of where the conversation goes. So I'm going to be doing that. And a ton of collaborations. You know how it goes. October is so busy. I've got a lot of stuff planned. We're going to be doing this, so it's going to be really fun. I'm going to be busy, and it's just fun, man. This is a great time of the year. I love it, and horror rules. That's all I gotta say.
It's funny because whenever I I've checked my feed, I feel like you and Craven are just like nonstop talking Scream 6 and Halloween Ends. I'm like, another Halloween Ends and Scream 6 panel? Like, what? But
yeah, man.
Hey, people love it, man. That's great.
They do. It's so many people that are just, and of course, the trick of it is that it always rabbit trails to other things, which of course we know, and a lot of times we try to direct that. But it's so many fans that are so passionate, and that's what makes it so much fun. The live chats and just everyone just kind of being involved. It's been a blast. Plus, we've been doing watch parties, which have been so much fun. We've done a lot of campy, cheesy, semi-bad 80s movies and stuff like that, and it's been really cool because so many people, they've been joining us and having fun and saying, wow, this is so much fun. So it's been really cool just having that connection to the viewers.
That's what I like the best. I consider myself, I'm kind of an introvert, but I think on YouTube I'm able to flourish like a pretty flower.
Yes.
So I've been having a lot of fun on here. Tone Bone, I know we sort of talked a little bit about it, but you're mostly just kind of hanging out over here.
Yeah, pretty much. I throw a video up here and there on my channel, but like I said, I'm gonna be working on getting stuff back on my channel, more often. But yeah, I'm just, when I go live, it's just kind of chill. You get the occasional troll, but which totally ruins the chat. I don't know why people enjoy that, but
it's true.
Yeah, and if I'm not, live on your channel, I'm usually in the chat anyway. So yeah, I'm on YouTube a lot, but I'm not always.
Find him.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I've been doing this for a while now. I forget how long, but I got like 4,600 subscribers. So, and I know Nightwatch, didn't you have problems with your channel before, and now you had to start a new one?
Yeah, I had to start a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you already got like $4,000. I almost said 4,000. That's impressive. That's really good.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
I appreciate it.
It's because he
always
covers
see
movies that people care about.
Yeah,
I talk about George Wishman movies.
Party.
Yeah,
there's always a watch party, and like this coming out, I was like, my God, you're you and Master Chaos are you're so busy.
Yeah,
especially October is going to be nuts.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
But it's fun.
It is. It is.
Okay, I'm not gonna keep my panel much longer. They got busy lives. You got busy lives at home. So let's call it a day. I've already done my pitch. My big news: movie's coming theatrical. Oh, I'm excited. I did see a look at the special effects. Look a little not great, but there's nothing I can do about that. That's what happens when you have a special effects movie and not enough time to really finesse. But hey, it's okay. Making a movie is making a movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I love my panel. These are wonderful human beings. What I didn't do is put links for social medias. So do you guys want me to add links for, I could put Mondo Digital and things like that in the description. Do you guys want me to do that stuff? Yes, no, Nathaniel?
Sure.
Okay, great. Tina, do you want me to put your Facebook? Okay, great. Troy, is there anything you want me to, any links you want me to share? I don't know if you're,
I can't think of anything, honestly. I don't really. I mean, I have a Facebook. That's about it.
Okay. I'll put that on there so you guys can stalk him. All right, perfect.
Got enough trouble.
We're gonna stalk you.
All right, let's call it a day. Panel hangout. We're gonna talk off air after this, but I'm gonna bid everyone watching at home adieu. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. Episode 2 over on Knight's channel. But for now, sleep well, and remember, even if it has subtitles, that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, y'all ready for this?